Coming up on this episode of On the Go with BCSO, jailbreak from Brevard County Jail for a good cause, an unusual call leads to a happy ending for some four-legged friends, and Agent Joe Martin talks about the needs of Serene Harbor and the Women's Center. Hello, I'm Corporal Dave Jacobs, and welcome to another episode of On the Go with BCSO, a webcast production dedicated to keeping you informed about what's going on in your county and the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. November is here, and many of you are planning to prepare bountiful feasts for Thanksgiving. But have you ever wondered what it takes to feed a really large crowd? Well, that's something our staff at the jail complex food service unit does 3 times a day, every single day. With an average daily population of 1,519 inmates, that equates to approximately 4,557 meals to be served each day. The food service unit is staffed by Sheriff's Office personnel who work directly with inmate trustees in the overall daily activities. Trustees perform all of the functions of food preparation, food storage, and transportation to the various pods where the population of inmates are housed. Only inmate trustees with a specific classification and who have been released by the medical unit as food service approved may work in the kitchen. The benefit for the trustees to work in the kitchen and other positions within the jail complex is gain time. Each working trustee will gain 5 days of early release time per month for their efforts. This process is a huge incentive to work and to follow the rules and regulations of the facility. Poor behavior results in a disciplinary hearing and the loss of earned gain time. The food prepared by the food service unit is predominantly made from scratch, and bulk foods are purchased whenever practical. The food service unit additionally uses produce grown on the sheriff's farm, which can be seen from the highway on 95. This added benefit cuts costs and is more efficient than contracting out the food service operations. The staff of the food service unit works diligently to save you, the taxpayer, as much money as possible while putting inmates to work and helping them learn valuable job skills. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office works closely with many different organizations, but we share a very unique partnership with the Women's Center and Serene Harbor, who offer comfort, counseling, and shelter to women and children who have been the victims of domestic violence or other abuse. Today we have a special guest with us, Agent Joe Martin. Agent Martin is currently a homicide investigator, but before that assignment, he worked in the domestic violence unit. He became very passionate about protecting the victims of domestic violence and continues to represent the Sheriff's Office in our county's domestic violence shelters. Joe, welcome. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
So Joe, explain to me a little bit about your role and responsibilities with Serene Harbor and the Women's Center.
Currently, I'm on the board of directors for both organizations as the vice president.
Okay, and now the Women's Center and Serene Harbor, they do a lot of things to help people. Tell me some of the stuff that they do as a resource.
I've learned since 2006 when I joined the board, Serene Harbor, and 2 years later for the Women's Center, there's a lot of things they provide in regards to women and children in domestic violence, between advocacy, food, clothing, shelter, temporary sheltering, and housing.
Wow. Now, sounds like to me this is a great organization, and there's probably a lot of needs to fund and to help supply these shelters throughout the year.
Absolutely. Both organizations are always in need of food and clothing for both the women and children.
What are some other things that they could use throughout the year if people wanted to help and donate?
Usually throughout the year, clothing, shoes, school items, toiletries is a wonderful thing we try to collect throughout the year.
Now we're coming up on the holiday seasons. During this time, if people were to donate foods or other consumables, where could they go to donate these?
Absolutely. What we do is any food that you collect, we, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, conduct a fundraiser or food drive every year during the holiday seasons for both organizations. You can drop the food off at any precinct and we'll coordinate to have that food picked up.
That's fantastic. Well, Joe, we appreciate you being here today, and thank you for everything that you do for them.
Oh, thank you for having me.
For more information, you can contact the following: Along with Thanksgiving comes the all too popular Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Our crime prevention team has put together a few tips for you to remember when you're out hitting the stores for that traditional start of the Christmas shopping season. In the parking lot, when walking through parking lots, be aware of your surroundings. Always park where there is plenty of light between your car and the store. Try to shop with a friend and walk in pairs. Keep your car locked and have your keys in hand before you go to your car. Before leaving your vehicle, make sure there isn't anything of value in sight, including cell phones, GPS units, and holiday purchases. While shopping, expect long lines and be patient. Enter stores safely. There's no item worth rushing through a crowd and risking injury. Don't leave your purse unattended or in your cart, even for a few seconds. Don't carry large amounts of cash. Keep money in a front pocket. Only carry 1 or 2 credit cards and make sure you secure them after each use. On Cyber Monday, with many retailers offering deep discounts, sometimes as much as 50%, it may be tough to figure out which deals are too good to be true. The best way not to be taken in by a scam is to only shop at sites you know and trust. Make sure your purchase is secure. Only enter credit card information on web pages that uses SSL, Secure Sockets Layer security. To make sure you're on a secure page, check to see the URL for the page begins with HTTPS and not HTTP. The S lets you know the site is secure. Most browsers will also show a lock icon in the lower right corner of the browser to let you know you're on a secure site. Please pay for online purchases with a credit card as opposed to a wire transfer or other non-plastic payment method. Federal laws let you dispute an item on your credit card bill if you don't receive your purchase. Many credit card providers also have zero liability policies, meaning you are off the hook if a bad guy gets your credit card and starts using it. Our crime prevention team is always looking for ways to help keep you safe. If you have any questions, they can be reached by calling 321-264-7755, or you can visit our website at www.brevardsheriff.com. I can't help but to brag on our team a bit. I'm proud to tell you our Brevard County Sheriff's Office Crime Prevention Team has been named the Crime Prevention Unit of the Year, and Sheriff Ivey was awarded the 2014 President's Award by the Florida Crime Prevention Association. The President's Award honors the law enforcement administrator who has demonstrated a strong commitment to crime prevention by actively participating in prevention strategies and supporting prevention efforts through the resources of their law enforcement agency. The Crime Prevention Unit of the Year Award recognizes the special efforts and exceptional accomplishments performed by an agency's crime prevention unit. The whole team works extremely hard every day to help keep you safe. If you have heard Sheriff Ivey speak, you know that he is always passionately giving credit to the incredible men and women of this agency for their involvement in the community. The past few weeks have been no exception for BCSO employees. Members from throughout our agency have worked to raise funds for breast cancer awareness. Sheriff Ivey, Chief Lewis, and Chief Waller flipped some flapjacks and scooped ice cream for employees in an effort to raise money. During the annual Making Strides Walk on October 25th, BCSO members walked along with over 2,300 other Brevard County citizens as they raised well over $171,000 towards the fight against breast cancer. A big thank you to Donna Pope from our records unit and Elizabeth Humphreys from the Community Services Unit for helping organize this great effort. Just a few days ago, we were surrounded by inmates trying to break out of our jail at the Jailbreak Brevard Adventure Race. On November 8th, Brevard County Sheriff's Office hosted the second annual Jailbreak Adventure Race. This unique 3-mile course is located on the back grounds of the Brevard County Jail and challenged competitors to attempt to escape from jail while being pursued by Brevard County's finest. This year's fundraiser benefits the Brevard Children's Advocacy Center, the Sheriff's Pet Posse, and United Way of Brevard. We are well on our way of raising over $70,000 for these great nonprofit organizations. Thank you to everyone who came out to support this great event. Road Patrol deputies never know what they might encounter on a shift. They might confront a dangerous armed suspect, be involved in a high-speed pursuit, or run into a burning building to save lives. Some days they race from call to call with a never-ending flash of blue lights and wailing of sirens. But today we're going to talk about an unusual call and see the result of going above and beyond for one deputy. On October 1st, Deputy Kayla Durr responded to a residence in Port St. John for an animal complaint. The owners of the residence, who were in the process of evicting the tenants, reportedly went to check on the home only to find it had been abandoned. Confined inside were several dogs that appeared to have been left without food or water. Deputy Durr and her squad mates arrived and found the house uninhabitable. She documented that there was no food, water, or quality airflow in the residence for any of the animals. She initially located 2 adult Siberian Huskies and their 4 puppies, along with 2 reptiles. All of the animals were underweight, dehydrated, and in poor health. Deputy Durr then learned there should have been a 5th puppy located inside the home. She, along with her zone partner and officers from Animal Services, spent 2 hours searching before they found the puppy among the household debris. The investigation revealed that the pets had been left alone for more than a week by the owners, who then voluntarily signed permanent custody of the animals over to the Brevard County Animal Services Unit. Both owners of the animals were arrested for a combined total of 36 charges of animal cruelty. But just rescuing the puppies and arresting their abusers wasn't enough. Deputy Durr wanted to assure that all of the animals were placed into permanent homes with a new family who will care for them as they deserve. In fact, Deputy Durr herself personally waited at the North Animal Shelter before the doors even opened the next morning to be the first to adopt one of the 5 puppies. We caught up with Deputy Durr and Farah to see how both owner and pup are doing.
Life with the puppy has been quite crazy. She's a bundle of joy and I love her very much, but she's just like having a baby. She was only 4 weeks old when I first took her in, so she was up every 2 hours during the night. She's still on milk, but she's gotten a lot healthier. She was infested with worms. She was very malnourished. She was anemic. Her gums were really pale. She wasn't very good at eating at first, but she was able to regain her strength after a couple of days, and right now she's on hard food, so I'm really proud of her.
We are all so proud of Deputy Kayla Durr, and it is so wonderful to see Farah doing so well. There is no reason for any animal to be left abandoned in that way. Our animal services would do everything possible to find any animal in need a loving home. You can visit either of our shelters located at the North Animal Care Center, 2605 Flake Road, Titusville, Florida, 32780, or by phone at 321-264-5119, or the South Animal Care Center at 5100 West O'Galley Boulevard, Melbourne, Florida, 32934, or by phone at 321-253-6608. You can see the adoptable animals located on our webpage at www.brevardsheriff.com. Animal Services is working to make it easy for you to find your new best friend. When you go to the shelter, be sure to bring your driver's license. You will fill out an adoption application form, and the staff will make sure that all of your other pets are current on their vaccinations and tags. The adoption process takes about 30 minutes. The standard adoption fee is $80 and includes spay or neuter, microchip, and the initial vaccines for your pet. But for the month of November, the North and South shelters are running a reduced adoption fee special of just $25. What a bargain for a best friend. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office is the central repository for all property and evidence held by the Sheriff's Office relating to criminal and non-criminal matters. The main function of the unit is to provide a safe and secure environment for abandoned, lost, and found property in addition to items of evidence. There is no limitation to the items which may be stored and includes some quite interesting items. We met up with the supervisor of the unit, Lieutenant Scott Armstrong, who is going to show us some of the most unique items held in the care and custody of the Brevard County Sheriff's Evidence Unit. Well, here we are at the Evidence Unit in the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, and with me I have Lieutenant Armstrong. Thank you so much for having us.
That's all right, Don.
Now, Lieutenant, one would think that the Evidence Unit would have hammers or devices for burglary, maybe a pry tool or something like that, but you have some items that are much more interesting than just that here, don't you?
Yeah, every once in a while we get in some unusual items per se that don't fit the norm for cases and investigations, or you'd think in law enforcement.
Well, give me an idea of some of the items that you have here that's housed in this building.
Well, one of the things is this is a case where actually one of the agents or deputies went out, and this is a homemade still that somebody had set up in their house. That's very unique in itself because we haven't seen a still in I don't know how many years.
So what type of investigation would have led an agent to recover this item?
More than likely, this involved a case where someone had this still set up. Either somebody saw it or they were selling the product to someone else, and that's how we became involved.
So this would make some illegal alcohol?
That's correct.
I see. And so what are some of the other items we have?
Well, this is an old cigarette roller from about the 1950s or pre even that. And it just works on a very simple basis. Some people take a look at it and kind of say, what is it? But that's what that is. One of the other unique features is we have an ag marine unit. And every once in a while they have to deal in, of course, calls with animals involved. This is the case. These are actually cow ears that we saved for investigative use in regards to the death of a cow after it had been and then dressed out in the field. And they took the ears because it had the markers on it to identify what cow it was and who it belongs to.
So as a result of our agriculture and marine unit, we had to take cow ears as evidence in a case that they're investigating.
That's correct.
Now, how do you store something like this?
We have a freezer that's a laboratory freezer that goes to about 20 degrees below zero. And that qualifies it as a laboratory freezer. It's not your normal everyday garden type or house type refrigerator. So
this is an item of evidence that you guys are preserving for court?
Yes. These items, along with the blood items from other types of crimes, we have to store for a long time. DNA has become such a prevalent piece of work or part of an investigation that now with all the cases we're required to keep it almost 100 years or more in all cases. Wow.
So what are some of the other items you have?
One of the older items we have is this is about a 1840 or earlier vest pocket Derringer. It's a single shot percussion, just one shot, and it's octagonal barrel, and just some of the oddities that we get in. This one is a Defender 89. It's a .32 caliber revolver. It was what they call a pocket revolver when it first came out. And this is single action. It's not double action as ours revolvers are today. So this puts this around 1850, 1840. Of course, with single action, you pull the trigger back and you can only fire one shot. It does not keep on firing. This is a Adams .32 caliber percussion black powder pistol, and that the uniqueness of this is this was one of the very first double action black powder percussion firearms. Also unique in the fact the way that you tear down the gun. Normally, you would actually have as far as your feeding and your ram rod here would be on the underneath side. This one is actually on the side, and what happens here is that when you get it there, you tamp it in by moving this arm back. And that is unique in itself. This was initially made over in England, and Mr. Adams started off making actually the guns for the American or the Confederate and then soon the North in a 45-4 caliber, a large handgun for the Army.
So now what is this item right here?
This is a unique one by the fact that every once in a while we have people that like to make their own guns. And this is actually somebody that took the time to take a German .22 rifle and make it into a pistol. They've made their own stock and everything on it. They've re-put this together, and it's just a single action, one-shot pistol now. Of course, this is illegal to do because you've now made it a rifle. You've taken a rifle and cut the barrel down into less than 18 inches.
I see. So we're holding on to these items of evidence for quite some time.
Yes, we do. It depends on the type of crime that happens. In murders, homicides, capital felonies, we'll keep that for at least 100 years. Even if the person dies or is executed, we still retain that evidence for a little while after that period.
So now we've grown kind of in size here. You have another item that's pretty special to you. What can you tell me about this one?
This is a 1917 Lewis machine gun. This has a little bit of story with it. An elderly gentleman contacted the sheriff's office, and a deputy responded out to his house. He had this in his closet, and he said that his friend had passed away a week prior, and the friend had, previous to his death, had asked him to take this gun. He said, and he gave it to him. The gentleman said that he knew that he couldn't have a machine gun, and he didn't have the license to do it, so he called up the sheriff's office and asked us to come and pick it up. This, like I said, this is a 1917 Lewis machine gun. The actual General Lewis was an American general prior to World War I, and he had wanted the United States to consider what they consider or what would be considered a light machine gun. This is light by 21 pounds. And in that fact, that the ordnance master for the United States would not accept having a machine gun. So what he did was he retired, went over to Belgium, and got with one of the gun makers in Belgium and started making this gun. Now, once World War I came into effect, not wanting this to fall in the hands of the Germans, he moved his operation to England.
So, Lieutenant Armstrong, what could we expect to do with something like this?
This machine gun actually was used by the Home Defense in England, which would be our equivalent in National Guard. It was used from World War I through the Korean War in all types of wars or factions, quarrels by smaller countries and the larger ones.
So this is a piece of history.
It is, and what we do with these guns is normally all these guns are destroyed, and that is because the sheriff's office does not sell these guns, and these are taken and shredded. But with something like this, an item like this, I contacted the sheriff, and he has agreed to contact. We've contacted several historical societies and museums in regards to turning this over to them. And we think it's just something that should be passed down for others to see in the future.
I see. Well, Lieutenant Armstrong, we really appreciate you having us over today and showing us some of the unique items that we house here and letting us know a little bit more about your unit. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Well, Brevard County, that wraps up another episode of On the Go with BCSO. We hope you enjoyed this segment, and we want to hear from you. Email us at onthego@bcso.us for questions, comments, or suggestions for upcoming episodes. Remember, you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for joining us today, and tune in next time for another exciting episode of On the Go with BCSO.